Hi, it's James, and it's another episode of Ask the Doctor. It's Friday, so I got 6 questions, which is awesome. Thank you, everybody, for asking the questions this week. I greatly appreciate it. So we're going to go into a bucket of questions. We're going to see what we got this week. First question is from Jason M. Do critic reviews matter anymore in this age of social media? Yes and no. Say for the blockbuster that people know about, that's promoted heavily, people are going to more likely see it than not. And like say Suicide Squad, which has 27% on Rotten Tomatoes, if you're a comic book fan, you're going to go see it regardless, because as I said in a previous video, you gotta support the comic book movies if you want to keep on seeing comic book movies. I mean, that's just the way it's been going since Iron Man. More technically, Iron Man. I'm probably wrong about that, but the more people want to see comic book movies, the more they're going to make. However, say reviews work better for smaller movies you haven't heard of. Like, I've got a few in my collection that basically I would never have an interest in seeing, but since I saw positive reviews, I gave it a chance. Like, say, Moon, because I like science fiction. I don't like the fringe science fiction that's on the verge. So I gave Moon a shot because critics recommended it, and say the movie Snowpiercer was recommended by critics. I gave that a shot too. So yes and no for that question. If the bigger the movie, you're going to know if you want to see it or not, whether critics are going to influence or not, or the smaller the movie, the more positive reviews will get me to see it anyways. Question 2 is from Sean S. He wants me to talk about the Charmac sausage stuffing. Is there a possibility of making a video sometime that... Well, I've talked about it a lot around Thanksgiving and, say, Christmas or another holiday or any holiday. It's nothing really fancy. It's my favorite part of Thanksgiving, but it's really more torn up bread mixed with chicken broth, some breakfast sausage log cubed up and chopped up and cooked with sage and pepper, and onions and celery and cut up and just all mixed together and thrown in an oven. It's been in my family longer than I've been alive, so that I'm 42 years old, so it's probably been around since my father was a child. I don't really know the history. It could be possible that it was just found in a cookbook one day and my grandmother adapted it or whatever, but I've never gone to Thanksgiving without it. So it's one of my favorite foods, and I love making it every year for myself anyways. And who knows, maybe sometime down the line I might invite someone to have it. But if I get a computer or whatever, if I learn more editing programs, I will be more than happy to try making a video of the stuffing. So stay tuned. Who knows when that's going to be though, but I'll see about making it happen. Question 3 is from Rob B. He asks, with all the reboots and remakes, would it be a good idea for Fox and Marvel to redo X-Men, i.e. more or less to get Wolverine right? Well, rumor has it that Marvel and Fox are trying to figure out a way to get, say, the X-Men into the cinematic universe one way or another, specifically more for the Infinity War movie or whatever, since they saw how Sony's raking in the money from the Spider-Man franchise. It might be a good idea, but that being said, the reason why they knocked Wolverine down from being the violent berserkers, because this is pre Deadpool, was PG-13 movie sell. Now that Deadpool, the rated R movie, made $300 million and showed that an adult comic book movie can make money, they're making the third Wolverine an R-rated movie. So it's possible if they decide to reboot the character, since Hugh Jackman said it's going to be the last time he's going to play Wolverine, that if they do do a reboot or remake, it would be feasible and a possibility to make Wolverine as violent and vulgar as he is in the comics and still make money, as long as they do him right and stick true to the character. So who's to say? It could be financially rewarding or not. Question 4 is from Mark W. What is one thing in life you could take back and do over, if anything? I wanted to move out of my house in the mid-90s. Or pretty much after I moved to college, I got a job. I was intent on trying to get my own place or whatever. And my father was the type of person who's like, "Hey Dad, I'm thinking about moving." "Great, where are we moving to?" "What?" "Yeah, I'm going to move with you, so we can both start over." I'm like, I kind of want to do it on my own and make my own. Well, I don't. Thing is, I want you to support me and all that. And so, if it was in the realm of possibilities, if my father was okay with it, I would have moved out before 2004. Maybe when my friends were coming up here, maybe moved out in 1999 when they were all starting out up here, and who knows where things could have gone from there. But yeah, I would have moved out of Syracuse a lot sooner. I mean, I'm thankful for the friendships I rebuilt in 2004, and if there was a way to do that earlier too, and keep the friendships I have now, or like the people I reconnected with after high school, great. I could make if I could make that work, fine. But I still wonder what would have happened where I could be now if I left sooner. If I could have more money now, if I could have more success. I mean, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great now, but what if I could have done more? Question number 5 is it's pretty much more or less the same. It's along the same lines, or sort of the same subject. When you left Syracuse, you could have moved anywhere. What made you decide to move to Nashua, New Hampshire? I had a group of college friends that were out here. I had one in particular who I was in love with, and I was more or less in a texting relationship with for years and years and years, even though she found out in her adulthood she was a lesbian. But I was madly in love with her at the time. And for years she was I wouldn't say nagging, but bringing it up that I should move out here. And towards my 30th birthday, like when I was 29, I brought it up to my father, and he finally decided, you know what, maybe it's time for me to go out on my own and to be my own person. And I moved out here to see about a girl, I guess. That's usually how most things go. But as such things go, some friendships go the way, the way it goes, and I'm here by myself, which is fine. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm holding my own. I'm doing what I have to do to get through life, and I don't regret moving out here at all. I love it here. I like the people I work with, most of them. I'm starting to, try to find that balance between work and a social life and whatever. So we're gonna see it. We're gonna see where it goes, because I've had great promise in the past few weeks. So I'm really crossing my fingers and seeing how everything goes. Last question. This is from Dave L, or as I used to call him in college, Dave. What do I think of DC Rebirth? I'm going to change into it. What do I think of DC reinventing the universe every generation or so? It drives me nuts. And then in 1985 with Crisis on Infinite Worlds, that drove me nuts. In the mid 90s with Zero Hour, that drove me nuts, because all they did every 10 years is let's just change everything to status quo and refix the problems that we got in the first place. So 5 years ago they brought up the new 52 after Flashpoint, and then there are problems there. So now DC Rebirth is fixing the problems again, and just let the problems fix themselves. Write better stories so the problem's fixed. You don't have to, shift the universe or change the universe or reimagine the universe or build the universe new again. Just fix what you got. Just go with what you have and work with it. Okay, a little angry there, but yeah, it drives me bonkers sometimes for the past 30 years. Anyways, that's Ask the Doctor this week. I have 4 questions for next week already, and I'm really stoked. Thank you guys for doing it. So, if you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already to my channel, and you'll get the shows off the bat, more or less, right when they upload. Or if you have any questions to submit, you can submit to my any of my contacts. I have Gmail, I have Facebook, I have Twitter. So yeah, there you go. Here are my contacts. So that's it for this week's show. We'll see you next week with a new batch of questions. So thank you guys for asking, and see you next week.